Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. It is the player ratings. Everton 0, Wolves 1 at Goodison Park. I'd love to sit here and say I've calmed down, but I will be honest, I haven't. Yeah, another defeat. Another home defeat against a team that we really should be beating. We certainly shouldn't have been losing that game. It was very much a game between two teams that couldn't score, and very much a game between two teams with similar issues up front. However, the obvious being that Everton have lost the game because, of course, we have. For me, this is extremely worrying. This again shows the desperate need for Everton to bring in a centre forward, and that has been a desperate need for the last 3 years, and yet we haven't brought in an established centre forward in that time. We brought Neil Maupay in last summer. It was evident that wasn't working, and yet we've had January and 6-7 weeks of this transfer window to bring in an established replacement, and we haven't done so. And yes, Beto is by all accounts on his way to Everton. Fee agreed, and he will be on Merseyside in the next 24 hours for the medical. But it is 3 games too late, isn't it? Because maybe had we have had Beto 3 weeks ago, we'd have beaten Fulham and we'd have won this game today. So, yeah, again, the typical example of this football club being run absolutely atrociously by those at the top of the football club. The owner, the chairman. Listen, I've spoke a lot about them in the instant match reaction, but for me, the pair of them are gutless cowards, and they shouldn't be anywhere near Everton Football Club. It's as simple as that. Anyway, let's get into the player ratings. We've just done the instant match reaction. If you want to go and check that out, you can do. It is up on the channel now. This is the player ratings, the show where we rate every player between 1 and 10. 1 obviously being terrible, and 10 obviously being fantastic. Spoiler, nobody is getting a 10. Jordan Pickford in goal then. Difficult. I haven't seen the goal back. However, I do think on first viewing, and it was right in front of me, I do think he probably should have done better. I think he should have been more commanding. I think he should have been, a little bit like Jose Sarr was for 90 minutes. And by that, what I mean is every ball that was put into the Wolves box, every cross that Jose Sarr had to deal with, he dealt with. He come out, he collected, and he dealt with. And that just isn't the case for Jordan Pickford today. I'm going to give him a 5. I think he should be better than that. I do. And again, he wasn't tested massively. In fact, I'll give him a 6 because I think he made a really, really good save at 0-0. And, if it wasn't for that save, we'd obviously have been a goal down earlier, even though it wouldn't have made any difference because we'd have lost anyway, but we'd have been a goal down earlier. But yeah, like I said, I think he should be more commanding of his box and just come out and punch it. If he comes out there and he gets anything on the ball, even if the ball then drops to a forward and goes in, it's a foul anyway, because it's always a foul on the goalkeeper in them circumstances. Jose Sarr got 2 or 3 today that were dubious, but because he went down, he got given it, because he's a goalkeeper, and every goalkeeper gets given them types of fouls. But he didn't. He stuck to his line, he allowed that to come in, and ultimately it led to a goal. So yeah, not the greatest performance by Jordan. Ashley Young, 2. Thought he was dreadful. Again, thought he was absolutely atrocious. He's at fault for the goal himself by playing a useless driven ball into the midfield, which then led to the free kick being given away, which then led to the goal. I think he was awful again today. I do. I think, we spoke about Ashley Young after Villa and how poor his performance was there, and him being, a fault for a couple of them goals. And today, again, I don't think he offered anything going forward. Every set piece he put into the box was floated in and was never going to trouble the goalkeeper. Defensively, I thought he was a bit all over the place. I just thought he was very, very poor again, and some people might disagree with that. Some people might say that's harsh. Listen, he wasn't as bad as he was against Villa. He was okay in moments, but when we needed him to stand up and ultimately be better, he wasn't. and that is that's the fact of the matter. And Wormy makes a great point. I just don't know why people are moaning about the goal. We had 100 free kicks and corners. They had about 4 and scored. Exactly. They did. Do you know what they did? They did with one of their set pieces what we failed to do with any of ours. They stuck a man on the goalkeeper and made it difficult for Jordan to come out and collect it. What we did is we stood 15 miles away from Jose Sarr, and Ashley Young said, what I'm going to do now, lad, is I'm going to float this ball in and you're going to catch it dead comfortably. And he did that for every single set piece we had. Shocking. Centre of defence then, James Tarkowski. 5. I think he was okay. I think he had his moments, couple of moments with Jordan Pickford, where, you know, there was very little communication and it very nearly ended in a goal. If Fabio Silva was any good at football, he would have put it in the back of the net, but he didn't. Again, I like Tarky. I do. I think he's a good, solid, average Premier League centre-back. And what I mean by that is he's just a decent Premier League centre-back. What I don't think he is particularly a leader or a captain. I just don't see enough of it from him. I don't see enough of him dragging players through. I don't see enough of him commanding. I don't see enough of him taking responsibility. I just don't see it. And yeah, he wasn't awful today. It wasn't the worst performance in the world. But I just feel like, I just feel like I want more from him. Branthwaite next to him, I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought he was good. Again, if we'd have won this game, maybe Branthwaite would have got a 7 or closer to an 8, but I just can't do that. He had a couple of moments where he looked a little bit uncomfortable. And I don't necessarily think that was his fault. There was a couple of passes that were played into him that were hospital balls. Garner Gay, for one, was terrible in my opinion today. And we had to deal with them, and he looked a little bit uncomfortable doing it, but he dealt with them, to be fair, and he managed to avoid any sort of issue. Which I think was good. He also had a couple of moments where he tracked back and he used his strength and he used his pace to win the ball and to get in front of his attacker. He's a much better defender than what Michael Keane is. It's as simple as that, and he should be playing for Everton every week, and he should have been playing for Everton every week since the start of the season. Again, I had no real issue with Jared today. No real issue with him whatsoever. Nathan Patterson, I'm going to give Nathan a 6.5 as well. I thought Nathan had a better game than what he has done recently. Again, pardon me, been very critical of Nathan Patterson in the opening 2 games of the season, but I think this was definitely his best performance out of the 3. He wasn't helped very much by James Garner, who I thought was poor today, and in the second half was barely involved, and I'm not quite sure how he stayed on the pitch, but yeah, I thought Nathan Patterson done well. Thought he defensively was good. Won the ball back a couple of times, sacked his man back a couple of times. I thought positionally he was much better today than what he has been in recent weeks. I thought he was good. I had no problem with Nathan Patterson today. Into the midfield then, Garner Guy, 2. Same as Ashley Young. His passing is terrible. In the first 15 minutes, he put us in trouble 3 times. And I know people love Garner, and I know people will look at the stats, and the stats will tell you that he has 57 interceptions every game. But what the stats don't tell you is 56 of them interceptions have come because he has given the ball away, and then he's had to run and intercept it, or run and give a foul away. So, yeah, like I said, 3 times in the opening 12 minutes of the game, he gave the ball away in a sloppy area and put us under pressure. And had we have been playing a better team with a bit more quality up front, that might have come to hurt us. I think he settled into the game a lot more and he got better. But I did give Pickford the rating. I give him a 6, I think. I don't think he was very good today. Amadou Onana, I'm going to give him a 5. Again, I think we've had this problem with Amadou all season, and I know it's only been 3 games, but where in the first half, he's very good. And he's commanding, and he's throwing challenges in, and he's getting himself about, and he's making himself known. In the first couple of seconds of the game, he wins the ball straight back after after they kick off. And again, as I said, the first half, he was very active. He was everywhere. He was winning the ball back. He was picking it up. He was driving. He was this, that, and the other. And then the more and more the game goes on, the less and less involved he becomes. And the second half again today, he just wasn't involved anywhere near enough as he should have been. He wasn't. And I just struggle to accept that we've got a player who is as big and as physical as him, and as demanding, and as sort of his stature and his size, and yet he doesn't impose himself on games of football. He just doesn't impose himself. He wasn't bad today. His passing wasn't bad. His movement wasn't bad. He didn't have an awful game, but he's just not involved enough. And for somebody who plays in the centre of midfield and is 6'4" and is built like he is, he needs to be more involved. And like I said, today for me, he faded out the game again. Takore, 4. Again, thought he was okay, but again, not in the game at all. Faded out the game massively. When he was on the ball, he was okay, and he won it back a couple of times. But again, we need more. We need more from Decore. We need more from the three of them. The three of them, I think, have been poor for 3 games. They just don't offer us enough. There's no creativity in that midfield for the start. Not one. Not one of them 3 players have got a creative bone in their body. Not one. And that is a problem. That is a big, big problem. Forwards then, James Garner, 2. On the ball, okay. Again, on the ball, passing-wise, strength-wise, okay. Tidy little footballer. Off the ball, in his position. And yes, I know he's out of position. And yes, I know people will criticise me for giving him a low mark because he was playing out of position, and that's not his fault. But he's not a right winger. And you could very, very, very clearly tell today that he wasn't a right winger. He was poor. The second half, he must have gone about 25 minutes without getting anywhere near the ball. You just can't afford to have that. You just can't. And again, I'm not particularly blaming him because he's out of position. And again, people won't blame Dyche because what other option has he got? But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and give him a 10 just because, it wasn't his fault. He was playing there. He was poor and he wasn't very effective. Lewis Dobbin on the other side, I'll give him a 4. I think he worked hard. He ran round. He wanted it. He had a couple of moments where he looked busy. He had a couple of moments where he looked, energetic and like he wanted to have an impact on the game, but he's just not ready. He's just not Premier League ready. He's not Premier League good enough. He's not physical enough. He's not intelligent enough. He's not quick enough. He's just not Premier League ready. And he might be in a year, 2 years' time, but at the moment, as of now, he isn't. And you could see that in abundance today. And then Dan Juma. Who's this? Come on, a front for Everton, apparently. Number 10. Is that what that... Anyway, Dan Juma. I'll give him a 4 as well. Again, ineffective in terms of being a centre forward. A couple of chances. We had one in the first half where it fell to him from a good ball in. I think it was by Ashley Young actually, and it fell to him and he volleyed it, and he volleyed it out, and it was just poor. He had another chance that he was offside, but it was a 1-on-1. Again, people will go, oh, it doesn't matter, it's offside, doesn't matter. Your centre forward should be scoring 1-on-1s. If he's then offside, then you go, oh, he's offside, but got to be putting the ball in the back of the net. You've got to be putting the ball in the back of the net. Onto the subs then. Tom Cannon. Yeah, I don't even know if he touched the ball. I'll give him a 5 on the basis that it's bang in the middle and I don't know if he touched the ball. Yusuf Chamiti, I'll give him a 6. He ran around. He put himself about. He didn't have a massive impact on the game, obviously. But, for his debut, for his first game, obviously for the football club, his first game in the Premier League, his first game for what ultimately has been a while. I thought he was active. He put himself about. He worked hard. He ended up getting a booking, I think, as well. So yeah, obviously we will see more of him, and what we saw today is nothing more than a glimpse. But yeah, thought he was all right. And then Michael Keane, same as Tom Cannon, 5. I don't think he even touched the ball, did he, in the whole game? And he come on up front, so that shows you how terrible of a position that Everton are in at the moment. But there you go. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like. Instant Match Reaction is up now if you want to go and check that out as well. Big thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you later.